Korea's underworld is filled with various vicious crime clans. They wage war on each other until one man, Chairman Sok, unites them under the flag of Goldmoon crime syndicate. Chairman Sok is a cunning man who leads Goldmoon's dirty business under the guise of a legitimate corporate company. The police force repeatedly tries to take him down, but due to his powerful connection, he is able to escape prosecution on several charges. Chairman Sok realizes that the police might have planned spies in his organization. So he orders one of the high-ranking members of his organization to conduct a witch hunt. The one who receives that mission is our main character in this story, the mysterious yet dependable Ja-Seoung. He acts swiftly and leads his men to interrogate and torture a suspected member. Unable to get a confession, he ditches that man inside a barrel into the ocean. And so, his witch hunt still continues. One night, Chairman Sok is on the way back from a fun night at his mistress' house. Suddenly, a truck appears out of nowhere and rams his car, making him seriously injured. The emergency unit manages to arrive on time to evacuate Chairman Sok to the hospital. Once the news spread, the organization's sub-leaders quickly gathered at the hospital. Ja-Seoung tries to assess the situation. Is the spy the one who is responsible for this accident? He meets Jong-gu, one of 3 top sub-leaders under Chairman Sok. After greeting him, he goes to the airport to welcome the other sub-leader, Chung, who had just returned from China. Unlike Jong-gu, Chung acts friendly with Ja-Seoung as they have known each other from way back. Chung congratulates Ja-Seoung on his pregnant wife, which makes Ja-Seoung a little bit surprised since he hasn't told him. But being one of the top sub-leader makes Chung insightful. In a cool and calm manner like usual, Ja-Seoung declines the watch as it is a knockoff and sarcastically mocks his friend. Being an eccentric person, Chung lashes his anger at his subordinate. Now, the whole organization has gathered outside the operation room. But unfortunately, the doctor comes out to deliver bad news. Chairman Sok didn't survive the operation and has passed away. Jong-gu becomes angry, leaving the others in confusion as the organization's future becomes vague. On the next day, Goldmoon crime syndicate holds a grand funeral to pay their last respect to their leader. The police, hoping to get something to bring down Goldmoon crime syndicate, try to pry around. This angered Jong-gu and his men, forcing them to smash their cameras. Fortunately, before things go out of control, Kang, who is the police chief, comes to the rescue. He is able to control the situation elegantly with his calm manner. On the other place, the higher-ups at the police headquarters are discussing this matter. Goldmoon is an amalgamation of 3 prominent clans, Ja-Seoung clan, Jel clan, and Northmoon clan. The balance between them has been cracked since the death of Chairman Sok. 3 emerging candidates will most likely fight for the vacant leader position. The first candidate is Chung, who is backed by Northmoon clan. He has close ties with the triads in China and often manages the organization's dirty business outside of Korea. The second candidate is Jong-gu, backed by Ja-Seoung clan and was close to Chairman Sok. The last candidate is Suki, who is backed by the Jel clan. But he is unlikely to be able to compete with the other 2 candidates as he doesn't have enough power and influence inside the organization. Because of the spy, the police also understand about this situation and plan to sway the succession process to their advantage. But who really is their spy inside Goldmoon? Even Ja-Seoung, who is considered to be the 4th most powerful member just under the 3 sub-leaders, wasn't able to successfully complete the late Chairman Sok's order to hunt down the spy. But the truth is, the witch hunt will never ever bring a positive result, no matter what, because it turns out that the spy is Ja-Seoung himself. No one will ever suspect the 4th most influential member of being an undercover police. Not even his best friend, the new leader candidate Chung. He has spent the last 8 years infiltrating Goldmoon, which is the same time as Chung. That's why he became his best friend. They have risen through ranks together until Chung has become one of the sub-leaders. Ja-Seoung meets his handler to relay new intel about the succession process. She tells him to meet Chief Kang at a certain abandoned secret location, which for some reason annoys him. The reason he becomes agitated is that Chief Kang has promised him that his job is done after they took care of Chairman Sok. Ja-Seoung wants to pull out of this operation as soon as possible due to its dangerous nature. But Chief Kang indirectly forces him to take part in the plan of influencing the upcoming succession of the new Goldmoon's leader. Ja-Seoung hesitated for a while when Chief Kang congratulated him on his pregnant wife. This means someone from the police has been following him behind his knowledge because he hasn't told him about it either. He feels frustrated, but there is nothing he can do about it since without the police backing, it would be dangerous to pull out alone. A couple of days later, the first meeting to discuss the succession process began. Naturally, 2 opposing factions arise. One supports Chung, and the other supports Jong-gu. They agreed to hold a voting session next week during a board meeting. Being closer to Chung, Ja-Seoung goes with him after the meeting. In an elevator, Chung asks him to look after his faction while he is away back to Shanghai to finish up the business he left abruptly earlier. When they are talking on the way to the car, a car almost runs them over. Fortunately, it's just Jong-gu trying to mess with them and then drives away. Chung then hosts a little feast to celebrate Ja-Seoung's soon-to-born first child. After getting more intel, Ja-Seoung goes to his handler to relay them. He then asks her for more detail about the upcoming plan to sway the succession result, as he feels his life is on the line because the situation becomes more uncertain. But she is instructed not to share the details with him, with an excuse to keep the information safe. He only needs to do as he is told. This angers him because even his comrades at the Goldmoon crime syndicate trust him more than his fellow police. But he can't pull back now, so he tells them that Chung will go back to Shanghai for a while tomorrow. Meanwhile, Jong-gu tries to convince some key members of Goldmoon to support him. Let's just say Jong-gu's threat convinced them enough. On the day of Chung's departure to Shanghai, Ja-Seoung realizes that there are too many undercover cops who are monitoring them. He feels something is going to happen but can't figure it out since he is kept in the dark. Soon after Chung passes through the security gate, he is taken away by some police officer and escorted to a room. It turns out that Chief Kang has waited for him there. Chief Kang shows him a report file containing detailed Goldmoon's internal data. This confirms that the police still have a spy inside Goldmoon. But to his surprise, instead of using it to take them down, Chief Kang proposes a plan to bring down Jong-gu together. Of course, Chung can't just trust the police right away, so Chief Kang gives him some time to think over his flight. As Chung continues his journey, he wonders how the police know about his trip to Shanghai. He orders his lawyer to hire some Chinese hacker to do a background check on Chief Kang and hire a famous hitman to help clean the spy inside the organization. Feeling optimistic, Chief Kang and his men make a move to arrest Jong-gu. They barge inside a restaurant and show him a court-certified warrant. There is only one thing inside Jong-gu's mind: this is part of Chung's plan to take over the leader's seat. He asks Chief Kang directly about it, whether Chung struck a deal with the police. For some reason, Chief Kang answers vaguely, making Jong-gu think that it was the case. After receiving the news about the arrest, Chung goes back to Korea to meet Jong-gu. They have a heated conversation, where Chung insists that he has nothing to do with his arrest. But Jong-gu doesn't believe him and warns him about the consequences. Chung leaves. After that, he goes to an empty stadium to meet Chief Kang. He gives him a box full of money, hidden inside mooncakes, as a token of appreciation. After all, with Jong-gu's arrest, it's almost certain that he will be the new leader of Goldmoon. He also hopes that the money will smoothen their future relationship. But for some reason, Chief Kang throws the money and leaves. Why does Chief Kang act so cold to Chung now? After all, he is the one who approaches Chung first. On the other place, Ja-Seoung is with his wife at an obstetrician. On the way back home, his wife gets a call and for some reason tries to answer it in private. It turns out the call is from Chief Kang asking about Ja-Seoung. What Ja-Seoung doesn't know is that his own wife is also one of Chief Kang's spies. But his wife is also trying to pull out of her mission, as she wants to reduce the stress to keep her baby inside her healthy. She also can't do this anymore behind Ja-Seoung. After some time has passed, Chung finally receives the background check result on Chief Kang. Not only that, the Chinese hacker manages to hack into the police database and get classified detail about the whole espionage mission. Chung reads the report in silence as the content shocks him. The famous hitman group called the Yanbian Hobos has also arrived in Korea. Ja-Seoung didn't know about the sudden arrival of Chung in Korea, so he calls him to ask about it. Chung acts friendly to him as usual and asks Ja-Seoung to meet him at a warehouse. Ja-Seoung has a bad feeling, but he goes there anyway with one of his trusted subordinates. In the other place, the Yanbian Hobos have made their move. From the hacked police database, they find out about Ja-Seoung's handler identity and go to her house. Being a skilled handler, she gives a fierce fight. But the Yanbian Hobos manage to get her. Ja-Seoung has arrived at the warehouse and goes inside with his trusted subordinate, Suk-Mu. He proceeds hesitantly as the setup feels off. Chung then tells him to open a barrel, which to his surprise, contains his handler, which the Yanbian Hobos have captured. She is stripped to her underwear but still alive. Chung explains carefully that this lady is one of the spies inside the organization. As he sweats heavily, Chung gives Ja-Seoung a file and tells him to read it. It is a file filled with detailed information about the whole mission. Chung tells him to immediately read the last page. It was at this moment that he knew, he fucked up. As he is just about to read it and prepare for the worst, Chung grabs a shovel and hits Suk-Mu on the head. It turns out, unknown to Ja-Seoung, his own subordinate is also undercover police. Chung manages to find all the spies and delivers them to Ja-Seoung as gift. This confuses Ja-Seoung as the file somehow doesn't contain information about him. After they finish, Chung tells the Yanbian Hobos to have some fun with the handler's body. As Ja-Seoung hears this, he grabs a gun to shoot her in the head. A salvation, as he thinks that death will be better than what they are going to do to her. The handler accepts her fate and gives him a signal, followed by Ja-Seoung hesitantly pulling the trigger. At the prison, Chief Kang visits Jong-gu. He shows him a photo of Chung and him in the stadium. This makes it clear that Chief Kang tries to mislead Jong-gu into thinking that Chung has sold him to the police. This makes Jong-gu orders his men to give a surprise to Chung and his men. On the next day, Ja-Seoung meets Chief Kang to assess the situation. Chief Kang is also aware that all of the mission's classified information has been leaked. Feeling that the situation is out of his control, Ja-Seoung desperately wants to pull out of the mission. Moreover, it turns out that the police have been working with Suki, the third sub-leader, without him knowing. They plan to help Suki become the next leader so they can control them from within. At first, Ja-Seoung is done with all this nonsense and tries to pull out. But Chief Kang indirectly threatens Ja-Seoung to leak his identity, forcing him to continue the mission half-heartedly. While Ja-Seoung is away, Jong-gu's men make their move and ambush Chung. Despite being outnumbered by far, Chung manages to fight back. He gets cornered inside a lift and manages to take down all of the ambushers. Although, in the end, he is heavily injured. Knowing about the ambush, the police come after the two clashing parties are done with each other and bring the heavily injured Chung to the hospital. It turns out that Jong-gu's men are also after Ja-Seung's wife, but the police are already waiting for them to protect her. Unfortunately, the unbearable stress level is causing her to have a miscarriage. Hearing this, Ja-Seoung immediately comes to his wife's side, where the doctor tells him the same explanation. Not done with his grief, he goes to his best friend Chung, who is now lying weak on the hospital bed. His condition doesn't look good. Chung tells the other to leave the room as he wants to speak privately with Ja-Seoung. He tells Ja-Seoung to pick a side for his own good, which indirectly tells Ja-Seoung that he actually knows who he really is. With his last breath, Chung tells him to check a safe in his office, where he left a present for his only best friend. And soon after that, Chung passes away. After the funeral, Ja-Seoung checks the safe, as Chung told him. Inside it, he finds a file about his real identity. The reason Ja-Seoung couldn't find his data inside the mission file is that Chung has excluded it and hid it there. He also finds a new watch that was meant to replace the fake watch Chung once planned to give him. At that moment, Ja-Seoung realizes that he has lost a true friend. Some time has passed, and with Chung dead and Jong-gu still inside the prison, Suki's succession seems to be a certainty. Suki asks Ja-Seoung to ride with him on the voting day. They seem to be chilling as the police's plan has no other obstacle now. But instead of going to the board meeting, the car heads to a remote bridge where Suki tries to betray his agreement with the police. He has his men ready there to eliminate Ja-Seoung. Unexpectedly, they beat up Suki instead of Ja-Seoung. In the absence of Chung and Jong-gu, Ja-Seoung has actually become the most powerful member of the organization. Meanwhile, Jong-gu has also somehow been released by the police and goes to his empty office. Ja-Seoung men have already waited for him there to eliminate him. Ja-Seoung also orders the Hanbi hobo, who previously worked for his best friend Chung, to take care of all the rest of the opposing party to consolidate his influence. Lastly, he also sends them to eliminate Chief Kang, who has not fulfilled a single promise he made to Ja-Seoung. Ja-Seoung is no longer a tool that the police can use. He has made too many sacrifices to get treated like that. With that, he chooses the Mafia life and becomes the new chairman of Goldmoon, living his life as he sees fit. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to help the channel out. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.